Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my mobile home life or living. So, anyway, welcome back. And I just took a little bit of a break and I wanted to explain why. I've took about a month off from YouTube, and sometimes I feel like that we need a break from just some of our social media. About right at a month ago, Caleb was getting ready to wind down things at school and in his third grade career of education. So now he's going to the fourth grade. So that's what I mean by ending his third grade educational career. So anyway, since things was kind of winding down there with school and there was so much to go to with it, I just thought, it's a good time right now. There's so much going on with school, so much going on that I need to attend. And it's time to take a little break. And sometimes that's okay to sit back and, you know, just take a little breath, breather, and get to just refresh your part of life and spend some time with my son since now school's out and we can just get out and do things. And I don't have to worry about just trying to capture the moment on film instead of spending the time with my son. So, excuse me, that's some of the things I wanted to do is just sit back, relax without having to think I have to just pick up a camera and film it all the time. And because sometimes we get caught up in doing that, or is myself as a content creator. Excuse me, it's a little stuffy tonight. Sometimes as a content creator, it feels like you're in the moment to capture the right moments, the right everything, trying to film it. And of course, that stuff y'all don't see because y'all are seeing it after I filmed it. But if you're, me and Caleb's, for example, out somewhere, we're trying to spend some time together, do something as a family or something like that, getting out, then in my mind, I've got to worry about what I'm trying to crank content, for everybody out there too, and for my YouTube channel. So I'm, instead of just sitting there enjoying things all the time and just relaxing and taking a breath with things, I'm all the time worried about, well, what can I do to create, something? How can I get this done for my channel? So I just kind of wanted to step back and just enjoy things without having to create stuff, without having that worry you got to create something all the time. And just kind of take a breath and enjoy life. And that's been really nice, guys. Sometimes it's just good to take a step back, reflect on things in your life, enjoy things in your life, instead of having to worry about so much pressure to film. Because I think, well, since my husband passed away back, that was, of course, Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2024. I wanted to make YouTube my income, and which I have made it a little bit of a source of income, since then. And so I kind of thought, well, this would help out. This would really help out me and Caleb a whole lot to make, so I could still be at home completely with him. Of course, with me being sick with this lung infection as well, it's been hard to get out more at public work. So I thought, well, sitting back at home, trying to create content, put it on YouTube, make some extra money that way. And great, it worked. I've been able to have a YouTube channel, make a little bit of extra money, nothing like I would make off a job though. I will tell anybody that if you're new to YouTube right now watching this and you're looking for something to get rich, this is not the answer. For me, I've got going on soon 5,000 subscribers, and I'm thankful for every one of my subscribers. but it's nothing you're going to get rich overnight or make some huge income. It's not. A little extra money, yes. But some people out there, if they have made huge incomes off of it, that's amazing. God bless them for doing that, because that's something that ain't happened to me yet. And some of my biggest actually challenges, and I'll explain here to y'all guys, y'all being my viewers, I feel like I can confide with y'all and, talk to you about, some things like this. To get out there and make content for y'all, I know y'all want to see something interesting, not just boring stuff. Y'all want to get out there and see interesting things. Just like if I was going to go out and take a vacation, I'm going to want to see interesting things on that vacation. It's going to work the same way. Let's just give an example. A good vacation spot that's not far from me is the Smoky Mountains. It's about a 4-hour drive, which that ain't that bad, far distance. But it's a nice trip. If you ain't never been to the Smoky Mountains, it's very beautiful. But what I'm getting at, let's say I'm going to the mountains, and a lot of people wouldn't even think of this. You as a viewer, you may never seen Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville, Tennessee is considered a bigger town, but it's nothing like super huge big like Nashville. But it's still a lot of people ain't seen it. And, so sometimes viewing, like driving through Knoxville, that big a town, and driving like even on the interstate, that's interesting to some people, which it may not be interesting to everybody. It may not be a super big content, but it still may bring up interest to some people that's never seen that town but curious what it looks like. So I try to film stuff like that even on the way. And also, places like, let's say, Cades Cove. Beautiful, gorgeous. That is, Caleb even wants to go to Cades Cove when we go to the mountains. Of course, it's free of charge. You do have to, if you've never been to the mountains, I will explain real quick. I don't want to get off subject too much, but if you go see the mountains, the only charge in the mountains now is if you park, if you're inside the national park of the Smoky Mountains and past that national park, gateway to go in, the sign and all that, to go actually entering in the national park, you do have to buy a parking pass. And, if you're handicapped, you do not, if you have a handicap sign in your, excuse me, it's stuffy in here tonight. It's rained earlier and I've had to turn off the air conditioning because it got cold. It rained earlier and it's a little stuffy in here. So that's the reason it's choked me up a little bit. But anyway, if you got a handicap sign in your rearview mirror, you do not have to have a parking pass. Or if you got and you can look on the Smoky Mountain National, the parking pass rules and stuff, it'll state all this. Or if you have a disabled tag in, like your license plate, disabled tag, you do not have to buy a parking pass. Where I have this bad lung infection and it's considered chronic, I have a disabled parking pass, or a parking place for my car sign that goes up in the mirror. I never did buy my handicapped license plate since it was extra charge. I just used the free one they give you. Even though some people might look at me and see that some days I don't look disabled. On the outside, but physically on the inside, yes, I am. It's because my lung infection, again, is chronic. Bronchitis is what I have, which is considered a chronic disease. And so anyway, that's the reason why I do have that parking pass. So, and that's the reason I knew this information, that you can park. anywhere in the mountains for free. Or if not, you have to buy a parking pass. But anyway, again, Kate's Cove is, beautiful scenery. And what I was kind of getting at in the long run, kind of got off subject a little, and I have a bad habit of sometimes doing that. I can start rambling, get off subject. But when you want to be able to see sometimes great content like Kate's Cove, but there's also little things on here that, you can pick up, doing stuff, filming and stuff, like, let's say, driving through Knoxville. Just being able to, and of course, when I do those videos, I do have a thing in my car where I can put my equipment I'm filming with, whether it's my camera, my GoPro, or whatever. I can put that up safely where it's hands-free, so driving is not affected while I'm doing the filming. So anyway, yeah, when you're trying to do YouTube, it almost takes a little money to be able to get good content out there for y'all guys. And, sometimes that's when we need to take a little step back and, be able to refresh things and get our mindset to a better refreshment. And that's kind of where I feel like I needed to be at right now, a refresh on my mind. Now, I do want to talk with y'all guys. I've been reading y'all's comments and tried to, get back to most everybody. I try to answer as much comments as I can, unless any comments are disrespectful. Sometimes those I will even delete, or some of them, I just don't have nothing where I really want to respond back that, if somebody's being kind of disrespectful, I won't respond back to those, or delete them. So I try to keep what I consider this as a family-friendly channel. I have a child that my son could go in there. He's actually one of my subscribers. My son is. And my 9-year-old son. And he gets on YouTube a little bit. Nothing bad. He usually likes his electronics. And does a little electronic things he enjoys on YouTube. And he watches that from a kid-friendly, type environment that I do monitor. If anybody doesn't know, my son is very computer savvy tech little fella, so he knows his stuff on computers very well. And that's something else I want to talk to y'all about in a minute. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that first. But Caleb, his grandma, she set everything up and, to do all this. But where Caleb's very tech savvy, he is, I won't tell the exact location just because of privacy issues. Actually, I won't tell the dates exactly. But she has set him up to go. It's a little camp at, I don't care to tell the location, but at Vanderbilt College. Vanderbilt is located in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a big college down there in Nashville. And it's a tech camp they got going. And I know a lot of people don't believe in Roblox, but this ain't just Roblox. Of course, Roblox is what takes the kids' interest, but he won't just be playing Roblox. It's not that. But he's actually going to build the game and load it up online. So that's what the camp is about. They give a subject a kid would be interested in, like Roblox. But what it is teaching them skill of actually building the game, putting the game online, and loading the game up. So he's actually getting the skill of actually building the game. Caleb, come here just a minute, please. I want to talk to you just a minute about your Vanderbilt. Maybe you can help explain or make sure I'm explaining it right. Caleb's going to come in here with me. Come here a minute. Come over here. come over here where you can be seen on the camera a little bit. Here, there's Caleb. Am I saying it right? They're going to teach you how to build the Roblox game at Vanderbilt?
Yes, when I already know how to build a game.
But y'all are also going to load the game up online, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking forward to going?
Yes, but the entire thing got moving now because now you have to have this Roblox Plus subscription to publish Roblox games.
Well, they'll probably handle that, sweetie.
They can.
They got it. Well, we'll see. They'll take care of that.
It's something you'd have to pay with like credit card money or something.
Well, the Vanderbilt University will take care of that. To know how to load it up online. Sorry. But anyway, so what this is, it's a tech camp. But that's what they're going to be doing in the camp. It's, for tech, for little kids to be able to take like a college skilled class. And again, my mother-in-law, she took care of all this. Caleb's having his meals paid for during the class itself and stuff like that. He's going to go to his grandma, which his grandma lives, I'm going to say roughly where she lives at is about 15, maybe 20 miles, not even 20 miles probably about 15 miles from downtown Nashville. So she's going to take him, Caleb's going to go spend about 4 or 5 days with her. And since she lives closer, I live about 65 miles from Nashville, roughly. So she's going to take him back and forth. His grandma is, so he's going to stay with her that week. It's a 5-day camp for that week and stuff. So it's in the month of June, and he's really looking forward to it. But it's a tech camp, and what it kind of means during that training with since it's Vanderbilt College, this can actually go on his college. So he'll get a certificate or something that he can take for when he attends college. That can go for that. That can show for jobs later when he gets grown and stuff. So it's going to be a very interesting thing for him. I'm also trying to plan a Smoky Mountain trip in the upcoming Macon, and just do some things around here. Of course, on here we are going to be doing some the channel, that is. Again, I have Smoky Mountain trips coming up. I also have right now I'm trying to actually debate whether I want to go earlier or wait till around the 4th of July, because they do have a big 4th of July show down there. So I haven't decided yet. But also I still have a lot of work to do around here that's got to be done. Now, I did, another thing I wanted to get on here and explain about is my health. Since I had, of course, I found out as I was posting one of the last posts I had made on here, I was talking to y'all about my nebulizer treatment. Of course, if you're new to my channel, I've got a chronic lung condition called bronchitis, if I'm saying it correctly. Which that led me to have a case of COPD as well. So, anyway, when I have that, the nebulizer I had wasn't working right. And I didn't realize that because it was coming out, it just wasn't coming out strong enough to get down my lungs. I didn't realize it until I was getting sicker, not to the point I couldn't breathe, couldn't keep my oxygen level up. And I was honestly, guys, I was like, I was getting very scared. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'm just getting worse. Is this going to kill me? In my mindset, I got to the point back when I took my vacation to Florida. I mean, if it hadn't been for Florida probably saved my life almost, because I was very sick when I was leaving for Florida till I actually got there. And with it opening up the lungs, it did probably save my life. I didn't realize till I got back from Florida, and then I got worse, and I'm like, what is going on? Is Florida necessarily milk or drug because my medicines ain't working no more? Because again, my nebulizer was coming out. I seen that, but it wasn't coming out enough. And I went to the emergency room one day. Me and Caleb went up there, and I told Caleb, I said, I've got to get a treatment. I can't breathe. My oxygen level's just too low. Before I get worse, and he ended up being, admitted to the hospital, I'm going to go up there and help them to give me a treatment. So while I was still able enough, I knew I wouldn't get admitted to the hospital at that point. So I took went up there, and they gave me a nebulizer treatment. It almost felt like you just changed my batteries. I mean, I'm like this right here. Oh, when I walk in the door, to the point when I left, and as soon as I took that nebulizer treatment they gave me, I'm like, from this, whoa, I perked up. I'm the Energizer Bunny ready to go. I mean, it's just actually like that. And so I went from a sluggish to like the Energizer Bunny. So that it was just, I felt crazy with it. I'm like, what is going on? I felt so much better. And then I noticed a couple of days, I was taking my home nebulizer treatment. I'm like, I'm feeling bad again. I don't want to have to go back to the hospital and take another treatment. Well, I got to look at my nebulizer. I'm like, it's coming out, but I don't think it's enough to help me. And I got to even trying to clean the inside, the tubes, and it still wasn't coming out. So I went to the other one I used to have and took that treatment. I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. Just like I went to the hospital and took that treatment. And I'm like, that's it. It's the nebulizer wasn't working. It was working. It just wasn't putting enough out to go down in my lungs to actually make any difference. So anyway, I took about 3 treatments. I'm like, it's a miracle. Excuse me. It's stuffy in here where it rained. It rained outside, got really cool. And where I've had the air conditioners on in here, and I had to cut them off because it got freezing in here, y'all. It just made the air kind of stuffy and kind of where the air had been running. I need to get, I've got a air filter or air cleaner purifier, or air purifier, but I got to go get another filter for it. I just forget to go get one. I think Best Buy has them because that's where I bought my air purifier. And so I need to go up there. I've got to remember to do it because every day I just keep forgetting to do that until I feel stuffy like right now. But anyway, the nebulizer treatment, once I started getting it, I'm like, that was it. It wasn't working, and the other one wasn't working. This new one, my newer one, yeah, it's working, and I'm like, but that's what it was all this time. All this time, I just felt like getting worse and worse, and this has been going on, y'all guys, this has been going on for months, probably before Christmas, and I just gradually was getting worse and worse and worse, to the point I couldn't breathe at all. My oxygen level was really bad, and I'm like, this is just completely crazy. So anyway, now I'm back to what I should be. I can get out, I can walk around, I can do anything pretty much I want without pretty well getting out of breath. And it's almost like I woke up to a brand new Kimberly nowadays. And so honestly, for this last month where I feel so much better, I've just been enjoying life with Caleb. And because, I also went from feeling sickly all the time to now a brand new Kimberly. And so when you have that you feel like you're not going to even be able to make it. You're just struggling through the day physically. Then you wake up and you just feel so much better now. Sometimes you just want to sit back and enjoy feeling better and enjoy the life around you, because it kind of opens your eyes up after you go through such a hard challenge of feeling bad, and a hard challenge just to live, breathing. Breathing is a necessity in life. If you don't believe me, I'll tell you what it feels like. With doing my nebulizer treatment, felt like, hold your breath to the point you just can't take it no more. That's what it feels like when you don't have, what it felt like for me when I didn't have my nebulizer treatment. I was suffocating that bad. From the morning I would get up to the minute I would close my eyes. Honestly, y'all, some days I wondered if I was going to wake up. My oxygen level would be so low, it scared me to even go to sleep at night. But anyway, that's just something you kind of had to live with. Thank God I'm still here. But if you want to know what it feels like, to how I was feeling the last few months, just hold your breath to the point you can't take it. So if you want to try that exercise right now and know how bad you feel when you're holding your breath to the point you just can't hold it no more, that's how I felt all the time. That's the best way I can, describe it to anybody, what it felt like for me. But now, since I'm getting my medicine, I feel great. I feel pretty well, just as good as anybody else. And so, but now if I don't have my medicine, I'd be like that. I guess my natural lungs now, that's what they feel like. But as long as I'm getting my medication in me, I feel great. I feel like a great Kimberly. Can do pretty much anything. Kimberly now feels like she can conquer the world. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I've needed that much needed rest in life and just to enjoy life a little bit. So I didn't want everybody to get on here and get worried where I'm at. I've had a few people ask me that, are you okay? I've had some, and I appreciate everybody being concerned about me. I really do. That makes my heart feel good to know I have people out there that care that much to even ask about me. It feels good inside my heart to feel that loved by other people. Even people on here, I know y'all guys watch me, but of course I can't see who you are. You see who I am every day on here because I'm making videos, but I can't see you. And, that warms my heart and really, really melts my heart to where I know I have so many people out there that feels that, much about me and stuff. And Caleb, but that I had people get on here and asking, are you okay? When you're coming back and things like that. I tried to answer many people as I could. I hated to take the month loss of income, of being gone off a month because, that kind of, in other words, in June, when I get my June's pay, because I didn't really make a video in June, I won't get paid. So this is going on July, when I get paid in July and stuff. So anyway, but sometimes you still need, even though you lose a little income, you still need a little bit setting back and enjoying life and not have to just worry about making videos and, making content and so on. You just got to sit back and take some self-time for yourself in life. And for your, in my case, I have a child. I want to take, time for my child. Another thing, I don't want to spend so much time here on YouTube that I don't have my mindset of being a mama. My responsibilities of being a mama comes first. And, you know, of course, in my case, I'm the only parent. I'm mama and daddy now to my son. You really can't never be daddy. You really can't. I mean, and that's, you know, if it was vice versa, if a man was raising his child and he didn't have his wife, he could never be mama. But you still have to be you're the only parent in the house. And, you know, and you're all that child has now. You know, when you have two people, you know, the child walks in the room, you got two parents sitting beside of each other. The child could walk up to any parent, mama or daddy, and be like, hey, you know, I'm mama, so I'm going to say, you know, Dad, can I have some advice? Okay, I'm sitting here quiet because there's a second choice. Now my son doesn't have that second choice, so he only has me to come to for that advice or whatever. And, you know, if he needed to talk to a guy, I would try to get him a male influence to talk to. That's something I couldn't handle, you know. If I didn't know, like, okay, as an example, when it comes time for my son to shave his face, I don't know nothing about that stuff. So I might have to have him to talk to boy in the family, you know, to help, that's older, to help take care of that situation, to talk to him about it. Giving an example of something that beyond me, because I've never shaved my face. Does it look good, y'all? No, I'm just kidding. I know in my life I've never experienced nothing like that. So anyway, but sometimes you just need, again, a step back. And, you know, again, I was saying in my case, you know, being the only parent, that, you know, I just want to take some time for me and my son. So even though it took a little hit on income for the month of June, still sometime you got to just take a step back and just enjoy life. But I do appreciate everybody that's, you know, just took their time to ask about me, you know, wondering about me and stuff like that. And I will tell you right now, I'm doing better than I have for a long time, y'all. I mean, I could get on here and start dancing right now. I mean, you know, I'm doing so great as far as physically. I want to sit down and see if I can get a good mental thought of, you know, what I would like to do on the channel. I do have a video coming up, and this may not catch your interest. I don't know. I do have a streaming service I wanted to talk about, some tech things I wanted to talk about on my channel. Not today. It'll be on its own separate video, just about it only. But it's an example how to hook up. I've got, and a lot of people don't even know how to do this. So I want to be able to get on there and learn people how to do some tech things. For, as an example, like how to hook up your Nintendo. I have a Nintendo Switch 2. How to hook up your Nintendo Switch 2 to an iMac computer. And to do gameplay and record it. Yes, I can do that. So, you know, I want to be able to do videos like that as well. I will be doing some outside videos of just getting out. Maybe visiting some locations. You know, even just in Kentucky alone, I don't know. And a lot of people may not enjoy, you know, local stuff. Let me know in the comments if you do. Let me know in the comments. Let's put it like this. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy just getting out and going on nature walks with me. Because now I'm able to do it. A little over a month ago, I wasn't. But now I'm more able to get out and do things, hikes. As long as it ain't too strenuous, I can still get out and enjoy them now. Whether it's a hike or, getting out, adventuring places, seeing things. I don't know if y'all realize or not, I live about 4.5 miles away from a state park. It's got several walking trails, but one of them has such a hill, I never want to see that hill again. It's on a walking trail. But anyway, Lord, I'm making this a long video, y'all. Forgive me. But I just had a little bit I wanted to get her and talk about. Since I hadn't been on in a while, I guess I have a lot to get off my chest here. I kind of treat y'all like I'm talking to y'all as if y'all was sitting in the room here with me. And I think that's the best way to do it. So if I get long-winded, forgive me. If you're new to my channel, sorry, welcome to my channel. When I was going to school, I would get in trouble for talking. So I'm bad for talking. So if you get bored listening to me talking, I'm so sorry. I was one of those kids that got in trouble for talking in class. So I can be long-winded, everybody. Oh, I do want to, and this is the last thing, and again, videos is going to be starting to come in, so we're going to get them rolling, the videos on here. So anyway, I did want everybody to know that I'm back. That Kimberly is back. I'm back. But, I did have a lot of questions about this. And I did want to get on here and answer some of the questions right now. First of all, it was some of the questions I want to answer is about the video I made of the 50th retirement party of my mother-in-law, Sheila Shipley Biddy. So I had a bunch of questions about that one. And I want to get on here and answer some of those. Okay. Yes, that's my mother-in-law. That's first I will answer. The retirement party was located in Nashville at the BMI building. Second question I've had people ask, is that Caleb's grandmother? Yes, biological grandmother. My husband Michael, that passed away on Christmas Eve of 2024, that was his mother. So yes, I still consider her my mother-in-law, even though Michael passed away. Because we was married at the time of his death and living together, of course, that left me widowed. So yes, I still consider her my mother-in-law, even though my husband passed away. On the end of the video, I didn't get to get it because there was still a little bit of an end. I had to step outside. Watch out, Teddy. Teddy moved the camera, so if you've seen it shaking. He's trying to jump on my chair, and he accidentally hit my tripod. But anyway, I was still having real bad issues as before I found out my nebulizer wasn't working. And I was getting choked up real bad. So I had to step outside and cut the video off. So what you didn't see on the video, I wished I had, I know somebody else, I won't reveal their name, I know who it is, but somebody else was recording it too. I may reach out to them and see if I can get that clip, if they would mind me putting it on here, and just give me that little ending clip. But when I walked back in, my mother-in-law was addressing, she was thanking everybody at that point, and I wasn't able to record it. And a lot of y'all didn't hear with your A lot of y'all didn't hear about that because, again, I had to cut it off because, again, that was when my nebulizer wasn't working right and I got choked up. I had to walk outside, actually, and for a few minutes just to kind of clear my throat out. My breathing was acting up, and I had to go take inhaler treatment real quick. So then I walked back in, and she was thanking everybody, and it really touched my heart. What y'all didn't hear, and my mother-in-law was thanking me and addressing me as her daughter. She was thanking my son Caleb. To a lot of people, you know, that she wanted to address a thank you to her family. And by name, she called out me and Caleb, yes, is thanking us in the process. And that really meant a whole lot to me. I've had some questions come up about that. And again, one question was, is that my mother-in-law? Yes, it is. Is that Caleb's grandmother? Yes, it is. My mother-in-law worked 50 years in the country music industry. I'll give you a quick background story. She worked hard. She worked hard to work her way up. She started out as a door greeter, I believe. I first thought it was a secretary, but she corrected me, I think, on it. She was kind of like a receptionist. You walk in the door, you know, go to them. Where do you need to go? You know, blah, blah. Where can I find this office at? You know, and she'd tell them whatever. You know, blah, blah's office is in the 3rd floor, built room, whatever, you know. Anyway, so she started out as a reception at Monument Records. And anyway, they moved there in 1974. I think that was around 78, probably, roughly. 1978, 79. She started at Monument Records as a receptionist. And, you know, a receptionist job was kind of like the low totem pole job, y'all. I mean, it wasn't a lot. You know, I mean, it was a lot. You know, you got a paycheck. It wasn't that. But, you know, you just got a standard paycheck. So, I mean, I'll give my mother-in-law credit. My mother-in-law, the way I can say it, my mother-in-law's badass. I mean, you know, she really worked hard. For a woman, she really is a badass. And forgive me for saying it that way, but it's truth. I mean, that's the only way I can say it that's honest, you know, the honest way to say it. And I definitely try to keep everything family friendly, but she's a high ranking on the totem pole. You know, she's up there. She's bad at an awesome woman at her job, you know. What I mean by bad is good. You know, I was raised in the 80s, so, you know, everything was cool, bad, you know, opposite stuff there, y'all. When it was bad, meant good. That's cool, that's awesome, that's bad, that's rad. But anyway, so, but back in the 80s, you know, in the music industry, from what I understand, was pretty much a man's. You know, if up in the higher paying jobs, mostly was just men. There wasn't no women in there at all. So she managed to work her way, and she had a few guys that was influence to let a woman come in. Well, she was willing to learn, know her stuff, and what she didn't know, she was willing to learn it. So she managed to learn and stay in contact with everything to learn it, and working her way up for being just a receptionist through between Monument, the receptionist job, to working her way up through RCA, MCA, Decca Records, and so on. There were so many. Honestly, I can't remember all of them, guys. But anyway, Decca was a sister company to MCA. And when I know Decca reopened, Decca closed down. I forgot the whole story, but Decca closed down, and then Nashville reopened it. It was a sister company to Decca at that time, and I think it was mostly to do with country music. And anyway, from what I understand, she was vice president of MCA Records, which Decca owned. MCA owned Decca, and she was the president of Decca Records. And she was actually the first woman ever in Nashville in country music to sit in a president's seat of a record label. So yeah, my mother-in-law done it all in Nashville. She went and took over Nashville. So when I'm saying, the best way I can say it, if I walk up to any country star and walked up to them, I could tell them my mother-in-law's name, and yes, they would know her. And I'm saying Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, I know was one of her people. Garth was not one of her people, but they're married, Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks. Anyway, actually, I went to an event with my mother-in-law, got Garth Brooks to come up there and do a show at the City Winery in Nashville, and me and Michael had our own private table. My mother-in-law was over the show. She's the one who put the show together. So yeah, we had a private table there. It was pretty cool. Anyway, my mother-in-law knows Reba McEntire. She knows, as y'all seen in the video of different stars, that was even on there. I'm telling you, ones even that wasn't there. Yeah, from what I understand, when my husband died, Reba McEntire sent my mother-in-law a message to all of us, of the family, with her respects, a private message. And anyway, it was read off to me. Dolly Parton is another one. My mother-in-law knew Loretta Lynn. There was a bunch of them. There's some pictures with her and Dolly Parton years ago. Where I don't know what label, I don't remember. Don't ask me ever. I'd have to look it up or even ask her. What label, who worked for what. Or what label she was working under, like with Dolly Parton, for example, or whatever. I can't remember all that stuff. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of, the best way I can explain it, the country stars looked up to my mother-in-law. So yeah, she was a high totem pole in the country music industry. They really looked up to her and respected her as a woman. So, and when I posted that, a lot of people's like, that's your mother-in-law. My mother-in-law came from the same location I did. Not in this house, but a half mile down from me is where she grew up. Where my husband's grandma, her mother, my mother-in-law's mother still lives there. She's 92, I think. My husband's grandma, well, Caleb's great-grandma, she still lives down there, or down the road here. So that's where my mother-in-law grew up at. She grew up pretty well just as poor as I did, or had grew up. She grew up in the same town I did. And so I just want to get on here and dress. Yes, that is my mother-in-law. A lot of people wonders, does she have stuff to do with me and Caleb? Yes, she does. I did want to get on here and state that. And I will say this, I don't expect people to support us. That's not other people's jobs. The only one I expected was to support me ever was my husband, and that was because I was staying home with his child. And I'm just saying, if I didn't have a child at home at that time, when Michael died, Caleb was only 8. Michael really didn't want me to work that much or anything. He would prefer me to stay home with our son and take care of our son and everything. I did do a little YouTube on the side at that time before he passed away. But anyway, what I was kind of saying, I don't expect other people to, get on here and take care of me. Or not here on YouTube. I'm just saying a lot of people address that. Because my mother-in-law worked for the country music industry and all that, and she lives in Brentwood, Tennessee. What I'm trying to say is, I've seen a lot of people make comments, why does she not do this for y'all or that? She done successful for herself. She made the choices she made. I made choices I made. So I live here. I guess I could have went out and worked in the country music industry maybe if I'd wanted to. Made a different choices in my life. I don't know. She made her own choices, and so she advantaged in the world. But just because Michael passed away doesn't mean I'll look at my, in-laws or whoever is a bank to just go ask for money from them. I try to do the best I can to support us. So is the best way I can kind of explain it. So I had a lot of people ask, why don't they help you more and all that? I don't expect that. If things was an emergency, I don't mind asking people for help. As an example, when my water pipes busted, that was an emergency. I needed to get the water pipes fixed. We can't do without water. That might be a different reason to ask for help. But, I don't expect nobody to go in there and do... Sorry, it is muggy in here. Or just kind of... I don't know where I'd been running the air conditioner. It's just kind of got that... I need to get some air freshener in here, y'all, or something. It's kind of that dusty kind of smell. I think where I shut off the air conditioner, I got to turn it back. As soon as I do get done with the video, I'm actually going to turn it back on because it is warming up in here and making it stuffy. But it's just got that muggy type stuffy feeling in here. But anyway, I just don't expect nobody to do everything for us. I shouldn't have to pick up a magic wand and be hocus pocus, have somebody just to do that. Zap, it's done, I've got to work hard for what I do. And that makes me more proud of everything that happens if I earn it myself. Now, getting on here doing a video, let's say this video got a 20,000 views and I made $100 on this video. I'm just giving an example. If I earned $100 for this video right here, in which I know I probably won't, but if I earn that much for this video right here from the views, I earn the money. Even though, yes, I'm getting paid from YouTube, but I still earn the money for those views. I didn't have to go out and ask somebody for the money. And if I used the money in my house or took it and traveled with it or whatever, that's up to me. That's a choice I made. But I didn't go out and ask people for that money. I earned it in some form or fashion. I done it by getting the views. That made me, become the better person. So that's just kind of the way I look at it. You know, I want to be able to earn my spot, whether it's here on YouTube, from getting views on videos or whatever. You know, again, if I put out this video and it got whatever, 20,000 views, that made me $100. I made that honestly myself. That makes me feel good, y'all. That makes me feel great spiritually. And is a woman, a godly woman, that makes me feel even extra better that I earned that myself for me and my son, my little family, and Teddy. We won't leave out Teddy, little love there. And, in my home, for example, even for Teddy alone, besides buying his dog food, of course, Teddy's a Yorkie. I have to get him groomed and things like that. You got to pay for stuff like that. I cannot groom. I can do little things for Teddy, like maybe cut his hair out of his eyes and a little bit, but I'm no dog groomer, y'all. Yes, Teddy, he just looked at me like, you're not. Just the way he looked at me, he's almost like, you're not a dog groomer. When I was saying that, y'all would have had to seen it, y'all. You just had to see his eyes. He just looked at me so funny. Here, come here. As you can see, he's got an appointment soon with the groomer. He needs it. And he's getting to be called Shabby Teddy. Get the hair back out of your eyes, buddy. I do have to do a little trim right there, but y'all guys, I cannot cut hair even. I have never said anything. Here you go, Ted. I've never said it. Whoa, buddy, easy. I've never said anything. I was ever a hairdresser, haircut, barber or anything. I can't cut hair. But anyway, if we won't let Teddy be a practice dog on cutting hair, he won't be my practice. But so anyway, I'm just saying, that cost us. And how is an example, whether it's feeding Teddy his dog, buying his dog food, buying Teddy's treats. I know he's going to wag his tail at that. Or buying a new toy for Teddy. He just rolled. He's just like, oh. But, or getting his hair cut. Teddy's got to be manicured, took care of. So, anyway, he's got to be supplied for in the household. I've got to take care of those responsibilities in my home. Paying my light bill, paying my water bill, so on. Paying my internet, my phone bill. Lord knows that's getting to be higher enough, the phone bill is. I'm talking about what I'm on right now. And, I'm the one that supplies all that stuff in my household. And then plus, of course, I'm trying to remodel the house. I'm getting ready to do, and again, I just took a setback and just a Kim rewind, just to relax a little bit since I feel better. Sometimes you got to relax after you feel better. And just be like, I feel so good, y'all. And just enjoy life. I hadn't been enjoying it where I'd felt so bad with, my breathing. So anyway, so it makes you feel good as a woman. And of course, I consider myself a Christian woman. It does feel really good to know that I take care of my own home. I don't have to run to people and, and feel like they're my national bank or something that I can just run to anytime. Hey, will you just buy me a new house? That would be simple, wouldn't it? My house does. It's old. It's getting older. It does need a lot of repair that needs to be done. A lot of it's cosmetic now. It's not, emergency repairs. It's more cosmetic. I've got all the emergencies pretty much done. But would that be great if I had somebody to go just say, if I went to a relative and said, hey, can you just hand me $150,000? I want to go buy a new double wide. It'd just be a lot simpler. Yeah, that'd be simpler. I wouldn't have to make a payment for one. Second of all, they just hand me $150,000 and I just buy a brand new double wide, pull it right up here and get rid of this one and not have a care in the world. That would be a nice dream world. But you can't go to relatives as a bank, as if they was a bank. So anyway, that's just kind of, and I've had a lot of comments almost representing that I should just go to relatives like they are an ATM or my personal ATM. They're not. So I just wanted to let people know that's made those comments about that video that I had posted on her 50th, yes, even though if they have money, regardless or not, if they live in a lot better house than I do or not, it's still, they're not my ATM to supply me money, even though we are related to them. I prefer to earn my money the honest way, the right way, and earn it myself, whether it's here on YouTube, from getting views from y'all guys, for y'all watching my videos, and thank you everybody for that. I prefer in my heart to earn it that way and not just ask people for money. So anyway, so make sure you watch my videos because I'm trying to get it up there, y'all. So anyway, I did want to address that because I had some people saying that. Also, too, does my mother-in-law have anything to do with Caleb and me? Yes, she does. We go up there quite often. Does she come down here, son? Yes. She has a mom, again, in her 90s, living right down the road from me. She goes down there and visits her as well. My mother-in-law is not a bad person like some people try to make her out to be on that previous video. I went up there and filmed that and stuff. I enjoyed it, wanted to share it with y'all guys because that is still a part of my life. That's my husband, my husband's mother. And even though now I lost my husband, I still consider her my mother-in-law regardless. That's Caleb's grandma. And so anyway, I wanted to get on there. That's a part of my family. That's a part of my history now as a family. She's one of my family members. And that's a part of my history is, things she's did. So I wanted to be able to share a part of my family history with y'all. And so anyway, I kind of want to address that where a lot of people was like, hey, why don't she help you out more and all that, because she has more. That's just not the way it works, y'all. Okay, as an example, there's movie stars out there. Let's give an example, and I'm not picking on a movie star. Let's say Julia Roberts. Everybody knows Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman. Okay, I'm sure she has relatives out there. Even though Julia Roberts is probably, she's in the millions of dollars, I don't know how much, but, as far as net worth. But she just can't go out to every cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever, and just hand them out money. Even though she's a millionaire several times around. She just couldn't go out and hand over relatives that whatever, just money. I mean, it just don't happen like that, y'all. Y'all was commenting some unrealistic things about that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. And that'll be the last time I want to talk about that. Again, that's just something that people was bringing up that it just, they was like, I'm surprised this is your mother-in-law. This is Caleb's grandma. Just because I live in a mobile home and, I'm doing repairs on my mobile home, hey guys, small world, surprise. You never know who you're talking to on you or who you're talking to on YouTube. You know, it could be things from where you never know. You don't know who I've met. You don't know who my mother-in-law's met. I mean, just saying. You never know who you're talking to or who you're watching on YouTube, because their life could be totally different than you expected. But anyway, enough talking about that. But anyway, I want to start getting back to creating content for y'all guys. I wanted to get on here. Actually, this video is, it's an hour and 5 minutes. It's a lot longer than I expected. I'm just going to upload the video. I'm not even going to edit the video. So this is what I call a raw, unedited video. So that's what y'all are going to get on here tonight. A raw, unedited, very long, with a girl that used to talk to a lot in class when she was going to school in elementary. So I can be very long-winded. And so anyway, that's what your video is about tonight. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a thumbs up and consider that. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing if you stayed this long. If you have watched the video all the way to the end here, in the comment, let's see, I want you to say something odd. So I'll know each and every one of you that watched it to the end. Comment, the word excited. That's it. As Pee Wee Herman said, the word of the day is excited, and everybody screams. Ah! Teddy looked at me like I'm crazy. Maybe I am just a little. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so as I said in Pee Wee's Playhouse, the word is excited. Leave that in the comments. Yay, excited. So when everybody walks in the room and somebody says the word excited, scream, excited! Teddy's like, she has lost her mind. So anyway, y'all stay tuned for the next video. And excited is the magic word. And anyway, I hope to see you on the next video. And if you stayed with me here to the end, God bless you. And I hope y'all have a great day. And I can't wait to see y'all on my next video. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for sticking around while I took this long needed break.